going on, all of my people of the planet? I hope all is well with you and yours. I am D Venom, and please allow me to raise your vibrations. I will explain the sad music here momentarily, but in the meanwhile, I hope that all of my people of the universe are staying on that straight and narrow and not doing anything to jeopardize and or lower one's vibrations. And with that being said, let's get into tonight's episode, starting now. Alright, my people of the planet, I do apologize for the melancholy music. But as I said, I will explain that here momentarily. In the meanwhile, as I always state, I hope that everyone is staying on the straight and narrow and not doing anything to lower and or jeopardize one's vibrations. Okay, I have a lot on my mind, so if I pause briefly here and there, it's because I'm in thinking mode. But aside from not liking too many people, there's one thing that I absolutely hate, and that is cancer. I hate it. It gets on my nerves. I wish it never existed, and unfortunately it's taking a lot of good people out. And it needs to stop. And I'm sure it can stop. But when you don't have the money to invest in the proper medications to, make things end, then you're on the shitty end of things, if you know what I mean. Take, for instance, Magic Johnson. No disrespect towards him, but he has HIV AIDS, and he has had it for a long time now. And most people in his situation who find out that they have HIV AIDS usually pass away within months, days, weeks, years after finding out. And he's been pretty healthy and around for quite some time. And it makes you wonder, you're like, what the fuck is he taking that's keeping him so healthy and keeping him around for so long when so many other people have passed away and, pretty much deteriorated due to HIV, but he's still healthy. It just makes you wonder. But anyway, I'm not sure what cancer she had. I just know that she was a smoker of cigarettes, and it's been speculated that cigarettes is the cause of her cancer. My phone received a text from my mother a little after 5 o'clock a.m. because from my understanding, this person passed away at 5 o'clock a.m. Midwestern time. I then received a phone call a couple of hours later from my mother, and I was just waking up, and she asked me if I received the text message that she sent to me earlier. And I explained to her no. I was extremely tired last night, and I ended up just dozing off to sleep, and I didn't receive any text message. So she went on further to tell me that my godmother had passed away due to her fight with cancer. My mom and my godmother were good friends during their years. They were high school friends. I do believe they were friends before that. My grandmother and my godmother's mother were good friends. So it was a gang of them that were good friends at that particular time that all grew up with each other. And unfortunately, life tested my mother and my godmother's friendship, and they fell off for a while. And it was before she found out she had cancer. They got back on in regard to their friendship. And shortly thereafter, she learned that she has been living with cancer. And it was like stage 3 or 4 at that particular time. But she was deep in it. And unfortunately, I thought she would be around at least until I got a chance to make it home to see her. But the biggest thing is I was able to talk to her on the phone while she still, had her right mind and was still talking and stuff like that. And I got a chance to connect with her that way. Anyway, I did learn that before she passed away, she reunited with her mother, who already passed away. And she was conversing with her. And I like hearing stories like that when people that are pretty much on their deathbed are reunited with the ancestors and the people that passed away before them. And it just makes me think a lot differently when it comes to death. I know towards the end of it, my godmother was very disgusted with a lot of people in her life. And I don't blame her, because a lot of these people grew up with her, and partied with her, not in that type of way, but, my grandmother used to always have parties and stuff, and they were always there, took pictures with her. Some of them probably even wanted her in regard to the men, because she wasn't a bad-looking woman. Just a lot, you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure she built misanthropic ways due to the fact that some people knew that she was on her deathbed, but instead of them taking the time out to come and see her to at least say hi, or, hope all gets well, or sorry to hear that you have cancer, they were too busy wrapped up in their own world. And to be quite frank with you guys, the only thing of importance that they were doing was drugs and drinking alcohol and shit like that. That was more important than taking the time out to go and see an alleged friend, someone that I grew up with and kicked it with and took pictures with, and we drank alongside with each other, and their boyfriend was my good friend, and blah, blah, blah. People really do show their true colors during adversity, and that bothers me. It makes me look at human beings. I already can't stand the motherfuckers as it is, but to do someone like that while they're on their deathbed, and especially when you know them, you grew up with them, you've done things alongside with them, and to ignore their cause because what you're doing is so much more important, drugs and drinking and all of that stuff, the Matrix is much more important. It disgusts me. And I'm pretty sure this is the reason why my godmother said she didn't want a funeral. She didn't want people coming to her wake or her gravesite or whatever the case may be to mourn her when they could have done that when she was alive. And I understand exactly where she's coming from, because when I was alive, you were asking about me. You were in my face. You were there to a degree. But now that I'm going through this, I can't even get one person to get up out their ass and come and see me and wish me well during my fight with cancer. But a lot of these people would ask my mom, well, how's such and such doing? Blah, 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 blah. And that would piss my mom off, and she had every right to get pissed off, because a lot of them individuals had my godmother's phone number, and a lot of those individuals knew where she stayed at. A lot of those individuals knew that she was in the hospital. Let me rephrase. A lot of those people knew that she was in between the hospital and her home, fighting cancer. But they never bothered to take their asses over there because they were so busy and wrapped up in their own lives that what she was going through was just of unimportance. And I can see why she said that, she don't want anyone mourning over her that could have mourned over her while she was alive. So don't do it while she's dead. So she opted in to be cremated versus having a funeral and all of that type of stuff. Like I said, I wish I could have seen her beforehand. I did get a chance to speak with her. My god sister I spoke with shortly thereafter, speaking with my mom this morning, and she told me that they're going to have a celebration of life for my godmother instead of having a funeral, which I would rather go to and attend versus a funeral. Funerals are sad. Funerals are dragged out, boring. They're just too much, and they can trigger a lot of things in regard to drug addiction and a lot of other stuff. And the celebration of life is basically more appropriate, in my opinion, than a funeral. And I'm not sure when she's going to have that, but I'm hoping that I am settled within my job and I generate some money to buy me a ticket and go home. I'm pretty sure my mom will help me if I don't have a ticket or whatever by that time, or a job. But I don't want anyone's help. I want to be able to do this on my own and go from there. But, it kind of makes me just wonder about my own situation and this whole death thing. I don't foresee myself being in a relationship with anyone, even though I'm quite sure that I can attract someone to be in a relationship with. There are just some people in this world that just don't want to partner up with anyone. Their spirituality and things like that is just more important. And they're doing everything possible to achieve that, and they don't want any distractions. And it would be nice to have a partner. It would be nice to have all that, someone to cuddle up with, confide in, be there for, love, just all of that stuff that comes with being in a relationship is, what anyone would want, you would think. But there are people in this world, such as myself, that don't give a damn about it. I don't want someone lying up behind me at night with their hard ass dick pumping all up on me because they want some ass. I don't want someone asking me to cook them breakfast in the morning. Bitch, I only got one egg, one slice of motherfucking bread, a little bit of milk, no orange juice. No, we can't share breakfast in the morning. I don't want someone holding my hand and doing all of that lovey-dovey bullshit. I just don't want that. And I say that, but, I'll be the main one that's looking for it. But God created a lot of individuals strong enough to not be bothered with all of that. Because if I really wanted a relationship and all of that stuff, I'll be on Facebook dating or all of these other dating. So I'll just be out there soliciting myself, looking for love. And I don't really give a fuck about it. The main person I want to love is my own damn self. And until I can do that, I really don't want to put that time and energy and investment into loving and getting to know someone else. Excuse me. Unless they're foreign. I will admit that I have a thing for foreign men. And if there are, for my last boyfriend, and I fucked that situation up because I didn't know myself and I was drinking and cheating on someone that came all the way from Lille, Lille, France, to be with my ass in Vegas. And I just totally messed that relationship up because I was cheating on them with a big dick Armenian. Damn, you can jump rope with that dick. But I was cheating on him with the Armenian, and yeah, it was just messed up that I had them come all the way from Little France to be with me, and I didn't know myself enough to be comfortable in that relationship. But it's just messed up, you guys. I'm sorry, my mind is just all over the place right now, and I'm just thinking. But I don't know. I mean, I don't have children. I don't plan on having any children. Who's to say? Maybe a relationship would come my way later down the line once I have all of my stuff together, and maybe I will have a small family. And who's to say? With a man, not with no woman. I'm just saying, maybe I will have a gay relationship with a family and stuff like that. And then again, who's to say? Maybe I will not have any of that, and maybe I would just have the spiritual realm and my spirituality and all of that stuff, my career and my family, and I don't know. I mean, my eldest sibling, they have 2 children, but the way my family is and the way that their relationship is between father and children is messed up. Satan definitely divides and conquers, and with my eldest sibling and their girls, Satan divided them big time with the lies and whatever else the case may be. So there's a relationship there, but it's not. So I don't foresee my nieces taking care of me, because their responsibility is to take care of their father. So it's a scary thing not knowing. Sorry, you guys, I have to get situated here. It's a scary thing not knowing who's going to be in your corner when you are pretty much on your deathbed. 8:44, that's the time it is. And it's about to be 17:17 here on the recording time. How many of you guys fear death and the fact that you may or may not have anyone in your corner during that time? Like I said, I don't necessarily fear it, but there are some things that overwhelm me when I think about it, especially the breathing aspect of it all. When the breathing becomes harder and harder and, you're fighting for that last breath. I think that is what will get me the most during my transitional phase, not being able to breathe. And, regardless if I'm on medication or not, I'm still fighting for that last breath. And to get that last breath, and then the inevitable takes effect. It's a scary thing, but there's a beautiful thing on the opposite side of all of that, and that's the gates to heaven. And most of us are going to get there, and most of us aren't. And I definitely want to be reunited with my grandmother, the ancestors, the spiritual team that has helped me along the way. And let that be the reason. I definitely want to be reunited with my grandmother again. That's a sure thing. But aside from my godmother's death, I was going to reach out to you guys yesterday because I was going through some really, really, really bad cravings in regard to my meth addiction. And it's just the littlest things that will trigger me. And I was watching a interview. It was a foreign interview, French. And I'm not sure if it was a UFC interview or not. But as I told you guys, I was molested years ago. And that molestation brought out a lot of perversions, including the fact that I am a sucker for a nice bulge. I love looking between the legs of men. And this interview, this person had a very nice bulge that I just could not stop looking at. And before I knew it, my mind went into raunchy mode and when I used to be on methamphetamine and watching those videos and how horny I would get and how stimulated I would get. And it just started triggering me. And I had to stop watching the interview. And I was going to grab my microphone and my phone and come and chill with you guys and basically break the ice with you all just to get it off my mind. Because I was craving so bad. I felt like I was going to get sick. And it's not like the type of cravings where, you're craving for fentanyl or you're craving for blues, which is still fentanyl, or you're craving for heroin. It's not that type of craving, but it can get bad with methamphetamine, and I've only been clean now for, I would say, a couple of good weeks and a few days. So that's nothing, compared to someone who has years of sobriety that don't have cravings like a person that's beginning their sobriety would have. And I'm probably going to have these cravings for some time to come until methamphetamine is completely out of my system. I don't think that it is, considering, well, it is by now, but the effects of it psychologically, will always be there. And some of the other effects of methamphetamine will come and go on an intermittent basis. So it's just a matter of me getting out all of this shit in regard to methamphetamine. Anything that comes with it, the cravings, the bondage, the sex, the porn, all of that stuff, it just can't exist like that in my world, or the world that I'm trying to create for myself, which is a better and a new. Anyway, you guys, I haven't relapsed from steroid retention. I'm still on the bandwagon in regards to that, but I channeled that energy in a different way yesterday when I was craving for methamphetamine. I would have given in, and I almost did, but I said I come too far. And I had all these job interviews, and the job is going to be in my favor here soon. They're going to drug test me, and what am I going to do? You know what I mean? It's just like diatomaceous herbs can work, don't get me wrong, but if I have a drug test like right then and there, a couple of days after an interview and all of that stuff, I'm not going to be clean. So I had to think logical in regard to my situation, and I had to think smarter, instead of being less than smart. And I fought against it, and I made it through, and thank God. Another test that I had in regard to my addiction, I was at Circle K getting some things, and I ran across a person that I had drug-induced sex with. And I was sitting in the car. I sat in my vehicle for a while after seeing them. And I rolled my window down because they were in the store. And I waited for them to come out. And at this point, I rolled my window back up because I was contemplating whether or not I wanted to speak to them. And I kept doing this until I just said, you know what, this is not worth it. You've come this far. That's the whole point. You've come this far. Why would you fuck it up for one night or two nights or however many nights of sex and drugs? Why? And I ended up just leaving, even though it was hard for me to do. I left, and I felt good about leaving, and I felt empowered about leaving, and I felt like if I can leave as hard as it was in this particular situation, I can stand up and say no when I'm faced with a situation where someone is like, you want to party? I can be like, no. And the minute I can say no is the minute I know that I conquered this whole thing with methamphetamine. But it's not until I can say no is when I know that I won. But I haven't been faced with that particular challenge as of yet. So yes, you guys, I was definitely craving yesterday, and I definitely wanted to reach out to you, but I channeled it, like I told you all, in a whole different manner, and I just put that energy towards my cleaning. I was cleaning yesterday and trying to get organized and straightened up. Anyone that's ADHD knows that we live by pile systems, and pile systems are basically piles of papers or clothing or maybe food. Anything that is in a pile that's just scattered throughout your apartment is a pile system. And I have piles of papers and bills and stuff, and piles of dishes, not bad, but they're in the sink and they need to be clean. Laundry's starting to pile up. So before I start work, I really do want to organize my life so that I'm not overwhelmed with work-related stuff, life stuff, this, that, this. I'm already overwhelmed as it is in regard to my life. So I definitely don't need to be overwhelmed in regard to work and a lot of other different things. So it's just a matter of getting it together home-wise, and that's what I'm going to do after I get done with this episode. Just finish cleaning the kitchen and finish cleaning the living room and stuff, and get it organized so that I can feel much better at the end of the day. Excuse me. Alright, you guys, I really didn't want too much of anything. I just wanted to shout out my godmom and just tell her I love her, and she put in a good fight in regard to her battle with cancer. And did I mention that my stepdad, before he passed away, he found out that he had prostate cancer? And my stepdad's a really good man, did anything for my family, and especially my mom. And he never would turn myself, my eldest sibling, or my family down in general. And he unfortunately died of prostate cancer. And my cousin just recently died of cancer. So cancer has been hitting hardcore these past couple of weeks and or months and or years. And I just don't like it. I hate, excuse me, you guys, that was my thumb popping. I just don't like it, and it's a sinister disease. I call it one of Satan's diseases, because that's what it is. It eats you up and it wipes you out, and it just does a lot to people's bodies, and I don't like it. And God definitely can't be behind anything like cancer. The only thing or entity that I can think of that would put something out there as horrible as cancer is Satan. He puts everything else out there that's harmful to us humans, so why wouldn't he use cancer as a way to rid human beings from this world? But anyway, you guys, I'm going to get ready to end this particular episode. For those people out there that are dealing with cancer, just know that everything will be okay, regardless if you survive it or you're at the inevitable stages. all will be okay, because God is not going to, He's not going to put much on us that we can't handle. And like with my godmom, you know what I mean? He put it on her because he knew that she could handle it, even though it was a tough situation for her to deal with. She still handled it with grace and ease. And, well, I can't say with ease, but she handled it with grace. And with that being said, I think that's enough for her to get to those golden gates and be reunited with her loved ones. And I'm going to find out her angel numbers through the time of her birth and the year of her birth and the year and time of her death. And I'll go there and see how many sequence numbers are within those numbers, which in my opinion will reveal her angelic numbers. Alright, you guys. This floor is starting to get a little uncomfortable. I'm going to end this episode. You guys be good. Stay on that straight and narrow, and don't do anything to jeopardize your vibrations. People of Cancer, we'll say a prayer. All will be okay. Regardless of anything that happens, you'll be perfectly fine, because Source said so. Alright, I am D Venom, and thank you for hopefully allowing me to raise your vibrations. Until my next episode, you guys have a good one, and namaste. Out.